Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/spookshow. Then go over to morbidlybeautiful.com as we are now part of the Morbidly Beautiful Podcasting Network.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
You'll float too! You'll float too! You'll too!
Everybody here dies by dawn. Dead by dawn!
Welcome to the Spookshow. Hello, welcome to the All-American Spookshow podcast, and welcome back to 1986. That's right, this is the beginning of our month plus, kind of celebrating the year of 1986, specifically in horror. It was a big year, obviously, for horror, and we've done, I don't have the full list of the ones that we have done right in front of me. At some point this month, we'll go through that. Like, we should point out past episodes and everything that we've done from 86, because there's already been a handful, right? Yeah. So that made it a little bit more difficult, but not extremely hard, because there was a ton of great movies, horror movies, that came out in 1986. And why 1986? Well, it's the year 2026, so 40 years since, not necessarily to the day, right? All these movies, but they came out in the year 1986, and it's been 40 years. So we're just using it as an excuse to just celebrate the year that was. So hard to believe that was 40 years ago now, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. No, every time I see that, I'm like, Rad was 40 years ago. Stand By Me, we saw that recently. Well, we saw Rad and Stand By Me in the theater recently, 40 years ago. What the fuck? Yeah.
So I assume that's why they re-released those again, because it was the 40th.
Yeah, 40th. And well, Rad, we've been seeing it in the theater every year for 3 years now. They have Rad Day around March 21st.
It's still weird. It's still weird to me that that's become a yearly thing. Rad.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's. I
Not that it's a bad movie.
I'm good. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's fine and all. It's just kind of an odd thing to bring out every year of all the movies. Whatever.
And they always have something extra at the end of it. Some, documentary. This time it was Eddie Fiola who did. I'm already turning this into Rad. I swear, I need to stop doing that, because I can turn any podcast into Rad.
Every episode has a Rad side note.
Yes. They have documentaries at the end of each one so far these 3 years, and they've all been different documentaries and different people featured, So, but yeah, I don't know why, but I'm glad it's a thing.
There could be worse things, right? So,
yeah.
But anyways, we're here to talk about. It was my poll, so I got the privilege of picking the first one here, and we're all gonna, through this month, we're gonna have a pick, and then we're gonna end it with a cannon fodder, which will, once we get closer to that, we'll let you know what that's gonna be. Once again, another fairly easy poll, I think, from 1986 and canon, right? But we'll tell you what that's gonna be. But I got to pick the first one, so I decided to go with a sequel to an episode, or a movie that we watched in an episode, I should say, many years ago at this point. And that is Demons 2, the sequel to Demons. Demons, which came out almost exactly a year before this one did. Which I don't even remember what episode number that was. I want to say it was like episode 50 or so. So it's been a while. I mean, we're well over 300 episodes now. So it's been many years since we watched that first one. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it was pretty early on, right? Fairly early on.
Like I said, I think like in the first 50 episodes or so, something like that. Yeah. So it's been quite some time, but yeah. So
it was actually the first, not the first Italian film. It might be the second one, but the only one that Willie has liked.
Yeah, well, yeah, because remember,
horror films.
We saw Suspiria, which I'm sure that will come up between now and the end of this program again. But I think we kind of held off because he did not like Suspiria, and then it took us a while to finally get back around, and then we went with Demons, and I think we all enjoyed the hell out of the weirdness and the holy shittery of Demons. Yeah. So that leads us to what this is. This is, in my mind, it's just about the same. Maybe not as much what the fuck. To me, this one makes a little bit more sense in a lot of ways than Demons did, just as a story. Yeah. But
it might be because you're already exposed to what the fuck from the first movie. Yeah, so you're right. You're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Desensitized to the what fuckery going on.
Yeah, between that and just in that time too, seeing a lot more of this kind of stuff. We've watched a few here and Grindhouse and blah blah blah. So maybe there's that too, but. Holy shit. What a way to start our 40 years of 1986 adventure here, right?
And I'll say, before anybody says anything about whether they saw it the first time, when they saw it, or what they think of it. This movie got, and I don't know what everybody thinks of it at this point yet. We'll get to that too. But this movie got shit on and got a lot of flack when it came out, mainly because it came out 1 year after the first one, and because a lot of people saw it as lesser than, even though it's a lot of the same stuff going on. So I'll put that out there, and we'll figure out. We'll see where we all lie with it later.
Yeah, we'll reverse dissect it and see where we land on that. But this is the first time I've watched this all the way through. I've seen this in snippets. I think I must have caught it halfway through or something. I've seen bits and pieces of this. Maybe I watched it all the way through and I'm just forgetting it, a long time ago or something, but I have seen chunks of this. So for all intents and purposes, for me, this is the first time watch from beginning to end. So Donnie, what about you? Is this?
Yeah, this was actually a first time watch for me. I had never seen it.
Before I ask them, have you seen the first one? Because you weren't on the show when we did that. Have you seen the first Demons?
Yeah, I did see that one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's necessarily 100% required, but
it
would help.
It helps to have a little background.
Yeah, well, yeah. Especially since they do allude to it. It's not like, from what I understand, the other Demons movies that come after this have nothing to do with any of this, right, Smoke? So,
no, the other Demons movies that come after this weren't ever meant to be Demons movies. I think after the fact, they just decided, hey, let's call this Demoni 3.
Yeah.
Even though that's not the real name of it. It was like Ogre, the Ogre.
Yeah.
Like, we'll call it Demons 3, the Ogre, and then,
fuck it. Which happened a lot with Italian horror movies, right? Where they're just like, they got loosey-goosey with the naming of this shit. Like, they'd call stuff sequels that wasn't and blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah, that's kind of going back to, like, even Lucio Fulci's Zombie, right? It was Dawn of the Dead by Romero and we've gone over this in the Dawn of the Dead episode probably, but I'll just refresh it real quick because it's pertinent to the Italian thing and all that. Romero's Dawn of the Dead was released as Zombie in Italy. Zombie, Zombi, meaning zombies plural, just like demoni with the I at the end is demons plural, right? So in Italy, Fulci released Zombie 2 to be somewhat of a sequel to Romero's Zombie. So in Italy, it's known as Zombie 2, but then nobody in America knew that Dawn of the Dead was called Zombie over there. So when they released the Fulci movie over here, it was just called Zombie without the sequel number on it. So yeah, that whole sequel thing has been an ongoing thing for a while, of whether it be a sequel to an Italian film or a sequel to an American film or a sequel to whatever,
Tiana, is this the first time you've watched this one?
Hell no. I used to rent this a lot back in the day. That VHS cover caught my attention. I might have seen this actually first before the other one. I'm not sure.
Once again, like I said, it's not like it's required. It would just help it make a little bit more sense. And then they do, like I said, they do allude to it because they say that outbreak at the movie theater. So there is some allusion to it, but it's not totally required. So you can push on. Smoke, what about you? I know this is probably the first time you've watched it all the way through, like me, right?
Oh yeah. No, one thing though, I've never seen the original VHS or the original R-rated version of it because Demons was released. I don't know if there was an R-rated cut, but it was released unrated on VHS. I remember that. And so, whenever the second one came out, and I heard that it was, it was just going to be R-rated. I'm like, what? So I immediately, because by that time I'd kind of already familiar with like the tape trading thing. So it was violence. Was it video? Before Blackest Heart Video, I forget the name of it now, but there was this sort of gray market tape trading thing, right? And so I ordered. They had Demons 2 uncut work print or something like that of it. So I ordered that, and that was the first way I saw Demons 2. I still to this day haven't seen that R-rated VHS cut. I don't know how much more gore is in the unrated because I can't compare because I haven't seen that version. So
now
I still have that bootleg tape from I'll just say Blackest Heart Media because I can't remember it now. I think it's called Video Violence or something like that before that.
Now, what I saw in the notes, and I don't know how, I mean, just based on what you're saying and the releases of this and everything, I don't think this got like a proper theatrical release. At least not here in the United States. It did in Italy, of course, but not here in the United States is what I meant by that. One note that I found is said this was the first film that was given an X rating here in the U.S., the MPAA. It gave it an X rating without it having any nudity or sex or graphic violence. I guess what they qualified as graphic violence. Enough to give it an X. But it gave it the X because the MPAA deemed the transformation sequences too much for an R rating. So it was eventually released in the U.S. unrated. So I guess that may or may not go hand in hand with what you just said, as far as like.
Yeah, I think I think eventually the DVD was unrated.
Yeah,
That's the
but
way
I don't know, like that initial release. I don't know if there ever was like quote unquote an initial release of the R-rated cut here. Maybe eventually.
I'm sure there was. I remember it being yeah.
I could be wrong. That's just what I read.
I mean, I remember it getting released on video, but not, like you said, probably not theatrically the way the first movie was. But I could have sworn that had it said on the back of the box, rated R or whatever. But it might be that they just, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I just know I went straight to that like bootleg and got that working print of it, which was a little bit rough, but was still at least fully uncut. And then I went straight to the DVD when they first put it out. Anchor Bay, I think, put it out or whatever. And then now we got the 4K. Who was it that put out the 4K Blu-ray? Synapse, yeah, that put out the 4K. And that's the way we watched it for this. But yeah, maybe it was, but maybe I just didn't realize it was. I just thought it was R-rated on VHS and didn't bother with it.
Since we've already dipped a little bit into the background, let's just go full hog here and jump into the deep end of the pool, because I think the deep end is the titles of this movie. I lost count how many, but I have multiple alternate titles of this movie. Of course, there is the Smoke. I'll let you do it. The Italian name of this movie. Do you remember?
Of which movie? Of this one?
Demons 2. Yeah. What's the Italian name of this movie?
Demone 2. I don't know how to say 2 in Italian though, but
yeah.
Demone 2.
Demone 2. The full title that I saw actually was Demone 2.
Oh, is there a different?
Incubo Retorno.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it had like a subtitle thing.
Yeah, yeah. Incubo Retorno. But there's also in Canada, it was known as Demons 2: The Nightmare is Back. In the German DVD, it was called Dance of the Demons 2. This is a particularly good one. In Thailand, it was known as Open Hell Through the Streets to Eat People 2. Like Open Hell ... Through the Streets to Eat People 2.
Interesting. It probably sounds better in Thai, maybe.
Yeah. I guarantee that's some English translation of a of a Thai
something
title.
that sounds more more rolls off the tongue better in the native language.
Yeah, because that's a mess. But it does sound like an Italian horror film, though, doesn't it? There's also at least 2 video titles, and these were released worldwide in various other places as one of these 2 titles: Demons 2: The Nightmare Returns, or Demons 2: The Nightmare Continues. So those were in multiple different countries. I'm assuming different video releases over the years. But yeah, so, but mostly I think it's just Demons 2, in most places, or Demone 2, whatever.
Yep.
It was released October 9th of 1986 in Italy. So that's why we're talking about it today. But here in the U.S., we didn't get it until February 13th of 1987. It was produced by DAC Film and distributed by Titanus. Of course, this movie is at the least rated R, for sure, if not unrated in some places, right? Total runtime or an X rating or whatever, certificates they give out in other places. Total runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes. On IMDb, of course, it's listed as a horror. It was filmed in Hamburg, Germany, and other pieces in Rome, Italy. From May,
I think the interiors were in Rome and all the exteriors were Hamburg.
Yeah. From May 26th to June 22nd, so roughly about a month or so in 1986, which that's a pretty quick turnaround. Like, basically, basically toward the end of June,
that wave.
toward the end of June, and then bam, it's out in October in Italy.
Yeah.
By the way, I should also point out that this movie went into production 7 months after the release of the first movie.
Yeah, I was about to say it was that they were really surprised with how well the first movie did.
Yeah.
In the U.S. and other markets like that. I mean, not all Italian movies from those periods did fairly well, but this one just went through the roof, box office wise, I guess. So they were going to jump on that again.
I'm not sure what the gross was and everything to compare as far as Demons to Demons 2, but in Demons 2, it was done for it was done for a budget of roughly about $1.5 million, give or take. That's what the budget was to make it. It went on to an Italian gross of like, I don't even know exactly how to say it. Like 1.1 billion Italian lire. I guess that's the number you would apply to it. But that equates to roughly about $659,000 here in the U.S. At least as far as like that amount compared to today's dollar. So some, inflation, blah, blah, blah. Roughly about 600 grand of today's money is what they made there in its Italian release. I'm not sure, like I said, compared the first one to this one and all that, but it sounds like it did pretty well. This thing reads as a who's who of Italian cinema, or specifically Italian horror cinema, right? As far as the people that worked on this movie. It was directed and written by Lamberto Bava, the son of Mario Bava, correct?
And before you go on to the next one, I think even though it doesn't really list these people all the time, the other writers, there's an unsung, I guess, hero of Italian cinema who is a lot of times behind, is always behind the scenes because he's a writer, but not always mentioned as another co-writer. In some cases, he writes the complete movie. And it's one of the reasons why Italian cinema has the feel it does and kind of gets international acclaim too. And that's Dardano Sacchetti.
Uh-huh.
If you look up his name, he's got tons of credits, and you'll notice that they're probably on. Anybody who's really huge in Italian movies will know that he's attached to probably most of their favorite Italian horror movies and cult films.
I would imagine all these names that we're about to list off are gonna. Some of these names are gonna ping when Donnie does his Crypt connections later on.
Oh yeah,
there's some names here. That's gonna connect to this, that, and the other thing. But Lamberto Bava, like I said, the son of Mario Bava, Italian horror master. He did the first Demons movie. He did a bunch of stuff, but honestly, like these two Demons movies are probably the biggest ones he ever did, right? I mean, arguably.
Definitely. As far as like box office, I mean, you'll get a lot of Italian fans that'll maybe like others better, or they have their favorites or whatever. And he's done some real duds that are kind of so bad they're good, like Demon Shark or something.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of different names for this shark movie.
Devilfish.
Devilfish is another name for it. Yeah,
he did Macabre. He did You'll Die at Midnight. He did Devilfish, and he also appears in this movie very briefly. He's Sally's dad. Remember, there's like a cut. There's like a cut to like cut to like a street. They're like a street carnival or something. Like, we're only here because what did he say? We're eating garbage because Sally has to have a party or whatever the hell. That's him. That's Lamberto Bava.
Yeah.
It was produced and also written by another classic name, Dario Argento, who was famous, of course, for tons of stuff, including Suspiria, which we've done here on the show, Deep Red, Tenebrae, and the first Demons.
Did we do Deep Red on the show or no?
No, we did Suspiria, but no, we have not done Deep Red.
Or let me do the speaking the fluent Italian horror, Profondo Rosso.
But yeah, we have not done Profondo Rosso on the show.
You got to say it that way too.
Oh yeah, you have to go.
Sorry, Italian people watching this.
You have to go shitty Southern Italian accent. Yeah. It was also written by Franco Ferrini, who worked on the first Demons movie, but he also did Once Upon a Time in America and Phenomena. Another classic name in Italian horror, right? Just Italian cinema in general. And you just mentioned him, Dardano Sacchetti. He worked on the first Demons as well. He also worked on a couple of little movies called The Beyond and Devilfish, and one that we did, I think, on Grindhouse Gutter, 1990, The Bronx Warriors.
Yeah. I was about saying, like, that's the name that most people don't. I mean, if you're really deep in Italian horror, you'll recognize that name. But if you're just kind of superficially in Italian horror, that's one you don't. It's kind of more under the scene, behind the scenes. I mean, his name's attached to it. You just don't really think of looking at written by all the time. Usually people are looking at directors and producers. But
some of that confusion too might come into the fact that like a lot of these dudes changed their names, or they would direct, produce, write, and all this shit on a lot of these movies, and then completely change their name to like. It's Dardano Sacchetti as Joe Hill or something. Some random, some random,
and that was
name.
We've covered. I think we've talked about that before. In like earlier days of Italian movies being released in the U.S., a lot of people they realized that a lot of people weren't going to rent these movies if they had foreign names on it, so they would change the names to more Americanized names.
Yeah,
like Lucio Fulci became Louis Fuller.
Yeah.
So, et cetera, et cetera.
So there's a bunch of dudes running around named like Frank Wilson and Joe White and stuff. They're just
that made it really difficult when you were a huge Italian horror fan, like I was in the video rental days, and you're trying to decipher And that was the important thing of fanzines and things like Deep Red, Chaz Balin's Deep Red, and then Fangoria 2 and Gorezone. Well, really, it was Chaz Balin's column in Gorezone. He would have a Peace of Mind column, that was called, and he would put all these different alternate titles and also the names of Italian directors under their Americanized names, so it made it a little bit easier to find those movies.
Yeah. It stars David Knight as George. This is the basically. By the way, before I move forward, this is a spoiler-filled podcast, so just take in mind, like anything we may or may not say here is going to spoil this movie for you. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, like we always say. But basically, the two main survivors of the movie, the guy and the girl, the pregnant girl at the end, David Knight is the husband, George. He only was in one other movie, a movie called Who Shot Pat? And that's it. So Demons and Who Shot Pat? And he was more known, or I guess made more of his hay as a model. Apparently, he was one of the biggest models on the planet around the same time as the filming of this movie. So I'm assuming that's probably where Donnie would know him most from, is his model work, David Knight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as the movie started, he's like, I recognize that guy from the GQ ad or whatever the hell, right? Nancy Briley as Hannah. This is the wife that I just mentioned of George. I believe, right? Yeah. This was her second film. She did a bunch of other stuff, but the only one that I think most people would recognize, at least here in the States, would be a movie called Body Count. She was in that. A lot of like a lot of these actors and actresses, like a lot of.
Oh wait, Body Count?
Yeah.
Which Body Count was that? There was a Retro Diodato movie named Body Count, which sounds like it could have been an American title, but it was actually an Italian film by Diodato. But I don't know if that's the same Body Count or not.
Yeah,
probably different. Multiple Body Count movies.
Let me check real quick. Because it seemed like it was around the same time period that Body Count that I'm talking about was. Let me see. But yeah, like that. I mean, like I said, like a lot of the actors and actresses in these movies, like they're Italian, right? So a lot of their success is TV shows and movies in Italy that we probably haven't heard of here, right?
Yeah, and some of them cross over, make that crossover. Or they also used a lot of British actors in Italian films.
By the way, the Body Count that she was in is the Ruggiero Diodato.
It is the Diodato
from the same year, like 1986 is when that came out. So around the same time she's doing Body Count, she's doing this one, Demons 2. So Nancy Briley. The other one, wait a minute, I lost my notes again. Where the hell? Hold on, sorry. Lost my notes there. Let's see. Well, what the hell? Nancy Briley. Okay, well, I went too far back. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, while you're looking up that, I'll mention, and you may have this in your notes when you get to it, but I know that this was the film debut of Asia Argento's daughter.
Yeah, we're about to mention that. Here it is. Coralina Cataldi Tassoni as Sally. She's the one that basically, patient zero here. She infects everybody.
Yeah, Sally's party.
This was her first film, the very first thing she'd ever worked on. And she also ended up working on, I think, other Argento projects such as Opera and Mother of Tears.
Which me being a huge Argento fan, I haven't seen that Mother of Tears yet. And it's supposed to be the third Mother movie, right? Suspiria. What's the...
Oh God, whatever they call that trilogy.
Inferno. It's Suspiria, Inferno, and then the Mother of Tears.
Okay, yeah. How do you say it? Asia Argento?
I know it looks like Asia Argento.
Yeah, it looks like Asia.
I guess it would be Asia Argento in Italian, I suppose.
That's Dario Argento's daughter. As in this one, I think she's around 10 at this point in this movie.
Yeah.
This was only her second project. It's her first film, because the first thing that she had worked on was like a year or two prior to this. She was in a TV miniseries, which I forget the name of it, but this was basically her first film.
First thing. Because he was known for doing that, because he had a Fiore, I guess Argento is a little bit older daughter who's a little bit older than Ossie Argento was in Phenomena. At least that one, probably others, but actually I think he had a doll. I think she was in Demons, the first Demons movie.
Huh.
That Fiore Argento. I'm pretty sure she was. I think she was I could be wrong. I want to say she was maybe one of the.
She was with the blonde.
Yeah, with the blonde guy in the theater. Yeah. She was the date.
Oh, okay,
date.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord. It would almost have to be your kid, or at least a kid of someone that worked on this to put them through what they put her through. And that scene where she's in that car and all the demons are around her. Like, dude, like a 10-year-old, that'd scare the shit out of you, wouldn't it? I was even thinking of that, like, as I'm watching, I'm like, damn, you're a little kid.
That was
demon the fuck out of
masked
me,
people.
Yeah.
It looks very realistic to you when
White
you're 10
eyes,
years old.
like slobbering on the windows and shit, and you're like the only person in the car. Maybe there's a camera guy, I guess, but like, yeah, it scared the shit out of you. She went on to be in that Vin Diesel movie Triple X, and she was also in Land. And she was also in Land of the Dead. One of his
the Romero zombie movie, Land of the Dead.
Tiana, you told us earlier that you got to step away briefly right in the middle of this, so
I gotta slip out.
Real quick before you go, what was your star rating, just in case we wrap up before you come back? What do you have to say about it?
This one I'm give it a 3.
There you go.
It's a fun time.
Hopefully you make it back before we wrap up here, but just in case, she gives it a 3. So, anyways, she went on to be in Triple X, Land of the Dead. I mean, she's been in tons of stuff, and including Smoke. I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch it yet. Dario Argento's, he had Dark Glasses. It was one of his latest ones.
No, unfortunately, no, we haven't watched that one yet. Yeah, I've got some catching up to do on newer Argento films. Let's say and by newer I mean I've seen some that came post 2000.
Okay,
but some of the very newer ones, like the last couple maybe or so, including Dracula, which I know people. I think at this point is terrible. Now, I guess, but I
think at this point now, Dark Glasses came out about 4 years ago. I think
4 years ago. Yeah,
it's been a while now, but yeah, like I actually watched that one. And
you liked it, didn't you?
It was fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not going to be considered an Argento classic, I don't think. But it's fine. It's fine.
There's a lot of that's. I mean, of course, like any director, even all the greats, even Romero, even John Carpenter, all those. They, by the time they got to the end of their career, they were just kind of, not that they were dialing it in, but their most creative.
I think
eras were behind them already.
I think some guys, maybe not a lot of them, but a good handful of them, they just kind of like run out of things to say. You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of already said it, Yeah.
And Argento, who was known for all these wild camera angles, he's already done all this stuff. So, you're just going to be copying yourself. So some of those later movies, I know he doesn't really go in for that. He doesn't really try and copy or do the things he was doing with the wild, putting his camera on this dolly and having it fly up a building and into a window and all this.
Yeah, it's not as funky, but there's a few things in Dark Glasses that are there, like you can tell, that it's got his touch, so to speak. But like, that's all I can say about it. One of these days we'll get around to it.
And that other one I was talking about, Dracula, which I've heard is bad, but it's kind of good. It's kind of bad in a fun sort of kind of way or whatever. I mean, it is terrible.
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen that one.
I think it was 3D.
I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. Yeah, I think it was. That was during that little 3D run of about 10 or 15 years ago, where everything that came out had to be in 3D.
Yeah.
And the last one that we'll mention that's in this movie, Bobby Rhodes is Hank. Now, he's the standout from the first Demons movie. Remember, he played Tony the Pimp.
Oh, yes.
Tony the Pimp in the first one. Although, for some reason, for two movies that connect, they bring back the same dude, and it's a very recognizable standout face from that first movie. He died very clearly in that first movie.
Yeah.
They bring him back for this one nonetheless as a completely different character. I guess they just like the dude. So, like, fuck it. You're Hank now.
And there's somebody else, which I don't know if you didn't get to him yet. The other guy, right? They brought back.
That was all I had as far as the cast. But I did see where there was another guy that played a different role, right?
Yeah, it was the guy that was the security guard.
Yeah.
Who was in the first movie? He was one of the punks in the car.
Which
remember the car that was driving around when they were doing the cocaine out of the coke can and all that stuff. He was one of those.
Which we'll get to. I'm sure we'll get to that here in a few minutes. But like. Yeah. They basically recreated that shit in this movie with the random group of punks, so to speak.
Yeah.
That are just driving. It very reminiscent of the same thing, although it ends completely differently. But
yeah.
And
I guess he didn't want to have him do that same role in that movie, so he had him be the security guard. And that guy's name was Lino Salame. Lino Salam, not Salami.
Salami. I'm sure that was his street nickname.
It was Lino Salame,
Hey, it's old Lino Salame.
Salemme. However, that's one Salame. I don't know.
Close enough.
I like I said, I'm fluent in the titles of Italian horror, but not so much always in the names.
Yeah.
We'll go with Lino Salame. I'm sure you'll love that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all the background like notes and stuff that I had on it. But I thought that the meat on the bone here of this one, other than the wacky ass story that we're about to get into, is that I mean you have Lamberto Bava, you've got Dario Argento, Dardano Sacchetti, like all these names. It's just crazy. You know, that they were able to kind of compile all these guys together to do not just this one, but the first one too, you know, so they're kind of, I wouldn't say outliers, but they kind of are in some ways, you know, like there's not many that have that many all working together, you know, to do this, you know, so, but yeah, so I think it's time to get into the movie itself. Cause I mean, what the hell are we waiting for? Right.
One other thing before we do that we didn't mention. I don't think we didn't mention the score, right? Simon Boswell did the score.
No, we skipped that part. Yeah,
and that I think I love both of Demon's movies. I love the score and the soundtrack music. Let's say just like the regular songs in the movie. Like with the first Demons, it was Claudio Simonetti that did the score. Great. I mean, it's not like a whole big score. A lot of it repeats, but it's very memorable songs. You know. And then the actual songs in the first one were mostly heavy metal and hard rock, right? Like Saxon,
I was about to say, yeah,
Motorhead,
that's the difference. Like the
Motley
first one's more heavy metal. This one's more new wave, right?
New wave and like goth, really too. Kind of got like Gene Loves Jezebel, Fields of the Nephilim, The Cult, goth, a little bit of hard rock, and a little bit, like I said, new wave, alternative kind of stuff. So, but still, I think a great soundtrack. There's also the Art of Noises on there.
Yeah, it's different, but you know, from the first movie in that way, but still equally good in its own way. Yeah. But we got to start pretty much where the movie starts. The bloody knife and the desserts. That was pretty crafty, right? Like at the beginning, you're like, holy shit, this bloody knife and
it's already starting
this scene of massacre, and then it just pulls out and it's like a confection.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a bakery or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's cakes and cupcakes and cookies and shit. Oh, that wasn't blood.
Damn, April Fool's Day got me.
Yeah, son of a bitch. Donnie, what'd you think of the movie within the movie? That aspect of it. Like at least as far as like that being the setup of the story here, you know, that you dive into, is that like you're basically like it's a bunch of people sitting around watching a movie that eventually bleeds into the movie, but
which was like the first movie, except it was they were in the theater watching a movie of it, but it wasn't the same movie from the first one. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the same movie within a movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar aspects, but different though.
I thought it was kind of, I mean, it's interesting and everything, and it did lead to something as far as like, that's an interesting way to tie that together. I will say that, and I'll say what that is here in a second, but it really reminded me of something else, and I don't know what movie I'm thinking of.
No, you're talking about, the thing that's reminding you, you're talking about the culmination of the movie within the movie and how demons come into the real world?
Okay. Yeah, that part
we'll get to that. Okay.
There's some very obvious what they're copying there. I'm just talking about like the plot of that movie within the movie. Like that just seems so damn familiar to me, and I can't place it. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe at some point I'll look something up and I'll think about it, but there's another movie that's set up very similarly where they're watching a movie that's within a movie, and it just reminded me so much of that. But eventually,
of course, not the first movie though, right?
No,
I mean, because it's very much the same thing, except this time they're watching it on TV, and then they're watching it in the movie theater. But
yeah, maybe that is what I'm thinking of. I'm not sure.
Remember in the first one, they come across the people that they're watching on screen, come across the demon mask that was in the lobby that the one girl put on and scratched her face, and then of course the movie within a movie. They find that demon mask in the cemetery thing or whatever.
And just in a lot like this, batshitness ensues. I mean, that's the only way you can describe it. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck? Although that one just kind of like, that one's more jump scary to me, like the first one. I mean, and this one does too. It has its moments, but like that one's more like they pull back the curtains and then somebody jumps.
Yeah, jumping out.
And they're like, what the fuck? You know?
The 10th scene, like in the air ducts where they're crawling through the ducts and they hear something behind them, and then eventually you realize it's a demon that's kind of coming behind them or whatever.
Stuff maybe like that's what I'm thinking of. But that's very similar. But what comes out of it is that essentially it's like all the people in this building watching the same movie or documentary, whatever the hell it is. Because see, here's the thing. This is the confusing part to me. Okay. So like the first movie was mostly in a movie theater where, like you said, one thing leads to another, and like there's like a demon outbreak.
Yeah.
Everybody in this theater gets turned into a demon by like getting scratched or bit or whatever happens to them, just like in this movie, right? But then the end of that movie is like basically it got out, and now it's just terrorizing the countryside. So like
it's basically turns into a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah, you're almost
pretty much.
I mean,
you assume that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, by the end of that movie, you're like, well, the world is fucked.
You know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It made me think of something, but you finish your thought. No,
that was all I was thinking. It was like as far as like in that movie, that's the way it ends, and it goes there. And so in this one, they mentioned that happened. They're like, because they're watching this movie, documentary, whatever the hell it is. So this has happened. And now I guess they live in a world where like this has happened, but they were able to contain it. And
well, I don't know. Cause see, this is where it was reminding me, like you were saying, like this movie, that movie within a movie was reminding me of something. And then now that triggered something to me is like the movie that they're watching in this Demons 2, the movie within the movie, is kind of like what would have happened at the end of the first Demons. Not the movie within the movie in the first Demons, but the actual outcome of the Demons movie where it's broken out of the theater and gone into the rest of the world and kind of looks like it's going to lead to a post-apocalyptic thing. Well, this movie within the movie seems like it's the post-apocalyptic ending that would have happened.
Yeah.
Except I'm guessing is that that movie wasn't even supposed to be a movie. Like it's not really, like it's almost like its own thing. It's almost like a reimagining of Demons before that was a thing, where it's called Demons 2, but it's almost like it just ignores the fact that there was a Demons 2, except within this movie, within the movie, we're giving you the original, we're giving you the ending of Demons 2 with the movie within a movie thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. So that's kind of what it reminded me of, the post-apocalyptic world that would have happened had we seen more of the end of Demons, you know.
But it's like
that's kind of like what it reminds me of.
But it's like a 4 or 5 person group of like, you know, early 20 somethings, like they're going to like, I guess almost like a militarized zone or something where they're not supposed to go.
It's like barbed wire fence, like a jail or a military or something that
they go in there. Into. Basically, they're looking for a demon, and then they end up finding one, and it's all like, you know,
trapped under the.
Well, yeah, it's like under a beam or something, but it's all dead and
it's also stony looking, like it's like a statue, right?
Like it's all dried up and shit. Well, like one of them scratches their hand on something or whatever, and then blood drips down, and eventually gets into the mouth of the skeleton demon, and then that reanimates the demon. And to now they're being chased and attacked by a fucking demon. Like this demon has come back to life because of the blood. And what comes out of that though is that like, so it's like a lady watching the movie in an apartment.
Part of the apartment. So.
And the demon's like chasing these people around, and then it like slowly turns and looks at the camera and then starts creeping. And then you realize that the demon can see her through the TV. And then pushes its way out of the TV, comes out of the TV and attacks her, and then basically bites her or whatever, and then she becomes patient zero for this next demon outbreak for the rest of the movie. That scene, though, is straight up lifted from Videodrome, is it not?
Yeah, oh yeah. That and the other thing that I think is also influenced by Videodrome, but also not from necessarily a TV, although I guess in part 3 it was a TV, but Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
The first Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy's over the bed and he comes to the wall and the wall kind of presses outward.
Yep.
And then there was part 3.
It's that same effect where it's like some dude pushing their face up on a what would you call that? Like that silk.
The static from the TV, TV screen.
Whatever, yeah. Whatever they're actually pushing their face into it, but it looks like it's poking out of the TV like Videodrome. Like
I think I read a trivia thing on it. I believe it was latex. It was a latex thing that they projected the TV screen, this image onto the latex or whatever. The
effect looks great to me. Like
definitely.
Especially that like where they're projecting the TV snow on the side of it, so you can still see it.
Yeah.
You know, on the side of its face as it's poking through or whatever. But
yeah.
It's still
very, very cool effect. Very cheap, apparently. I mean, just latex.
I would imagine so.
And a fake TV screen and a projector, and that's really all you needed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The management of this drive-in theater is happy to announce you can enjoy your favorite form of movie entertainment regardless of rain. No longer will it be necessary to let rain spoil your fun. Now you can keep your windshield clear and dry with a drizzle guard. Simply attach it to your windshield And in a jiffy, you're enjoying the movie without constantly running your windshield wipers.
It's a cool introduction, but kind of batshit crazy too. You know, it's like it's cool on one hand, but then you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? You know, like this demon comes through the TV screen, attacks her, and that's the other thing too. Like these are demons, right? They describe them as demons, but they're zombies, right? Like
Yeah, that's a holdover really from the first movie, because really that movie, I think it's just that there's been so many zombie movies. What can we do the plot is basically similar, but they're not zombies. Oh, well, they'll be demons.
Yeah.
And we can have them look cool with like claws and the teeth and all that. They won't look like zombies necessarily, but they'll still act like zombies, and that they bite you or scratch you and you become one of them,
and it's sometimes that easy too. It's just like, and sometimes it's almost unexplained how people are infected. It's like somebody will be, I mean, usually I guess if you get into the nuance of it, you'll see it somewhere, but someone will be completely normal. And they're like, what'd you say? Yeah. And they're like, what'd you say, Chuck? And then they turn around like, bah! You know, they're running at you. What the fuck? Like the woman, in the elevator where they're trapped in the elevator. Yeah. And like, I think what happened there was she got scratched or something by the security guard that tried to help them out of there. And then he got attacked. I think he grabbed a hold of her hair or something. So somewhere in there, he infected her, but she's like totally normal. He's like, give me your hand to lift her up. And then she comes out of the shadows and she's a fucking demon, you know?
Demon.
So there's tons of that throughout the movie where it's just like jump scares of people becoming demons like that, you know, like, and you don't even really know exactly how it happened kind of thing.
You know what? The other thing kind of reminds me of the Videodrome aspect earlier. We're talking about that it almost reminds me of like the 85 to 86 when the first movie came out versus when this movie came out, and really it came out in America in 87, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost that cusp, and we've talked about it on Grindhouse Gutter. 85 has kind of been the cutoff, sort of. I know I've done some from the 86, like Reform School Girls was 86, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but most of the time it's from 85 and back. And I know I've seen marquees on 42nd Street in images with demons on the marquee.
Huh.
And and it did go a little bit further into the 80s, but there was a lot of them that were closing. There wasn't nearly as many open. It was certainly on its last legs going into the 80s, in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
But I see the difference between the first movie and this movie. You have the theater setting, kind of a grindhousey kind of thing, the Metropole in the first movie, and the demons coming out, sort of, well, not coming out of the screen, but they got a movie playing and the mask is there and it's the same mask and it scratches and it starts this thing. Well, the second movie is kind of like the video age movie, Demons 2, because now even though it's a TV station, not so much a VHS tape or whatever, it's still like the video age, because they're coming out of the TV screen in that Videodrome kind of way. So it's, I see the two differences is like, here's the Grindhouse era going into the video era, even though 85 was still a video era too. It's just, 85 was just kind of the really push. The video stores were overtaking Grindhouse and drive-ins and stuff. So, and putting a lot of them out of business because of how well the video stores are doing. So just a weird, just kind of a thing there between the theatrical version or aspect of the first movie and the video age aspect of the second movie. And that's kind of, and the music too in there. The heavy metal hard rock to the new wave goth kind of thing.
Remind me, if just in case I've forgotten, the first Demons movie, did they have acid blood like this one? Because I don't remember that.
You know, where it would burn like alien blood or something? Where
like
it would burn somebody? I don't remember that either in the first movie. Now.
It became like kind of a big part of this, because the one bleeds or like it drools out of her mouth. I think Sally, when she starts infecting everybody in the birthday party, and then it just drips through the ceiling like floor by floor.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
No, I don't remember it doing that. That could be, I would say that could be an alien reference, but I mean, it would have had to have been from the first movie because that 86.
Yeah.
Timing behind the curtain. That's aliens is
but timing wise, that doesn't really, I guess it would match up if they're comparing it to Alien, the first one, because that was what 79.
Yeah. I just don't know where they would get the acid blood from. Otherwise, I mean,
yeah,
because I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the first movie like that.
I just don't. If it was, I don't remember. One of my favorite ones, because it's a very brief kill, I guess, is I can't remember if it's even a man or a woman, that somebody's laying in a tanning bed.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of the demons, it's a woman. And then one of the demons just run in and just start pushing
slams it.
Just starts pushing. That's like one of your worst fucking nightmares of being in a tanning bed, is that some maniac would just come in and just, fuck you!
Locks you in there, closes you in there.
Start slamming you and burning you into a tanning bed.
Hey, maybe we need to do tanning bed kill scenes because I'm pretty sure this isn't the only one we've done, is it?
No,
It's had a tanning bed death in it. It seems
No.
like there's been another.
there was one of the.
One or
It seems
two.
like there was one of the Final Destination movies that did that, right? Where they're
Oh yeah,
something to do
yeah,
with-
that's right. There was, yeah.
yeah. There's plenty. Because I'm telling you, like tanning beds, like they almost feel like death traps. Like
Yeah.
you know, like just at its core, it's like, oh fuck, if I lay there too long, I'm gonna burn up to a crisp, or I'm gonna suffocate because I can't. This thing's gonna lock on me and I can't get out. So like,
Yeah.
they're like a paranoid person's nightmare, you know, of just the whole premise of them. But yeah, I like this one though because it's like she's just laying there, and then one of the demons just runs in and just starts kind of like pushing on it. Speaking of outlandishness, the demon dog. When the
Yeah,
demon infects the dog, Donnie, that's a cue for the Chucky right there.
Yeah.
The dog in Demons 2 that gets turned into a fucking demon. It's like it turns into like almost like a were-dog.
Yeah, because they put this, the latex appliance on the real dog, right?
I think in some ways it looks horrible, and in other ways it looks kind of cool. So it's one of those weird.
Yeah. Well, I think
80s
they
special
probably
effects on it.
used a fake dog's body or a fake, to do the appliance, not to do the appliance, but to do part of the effects.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the other one where they put the appliance on the actual dog so it could
And
do,
it's just walking
it could
around.
run and be active or be animated or whatever.
Yeah, that looks bad.
Yeah.
but it's quick edit, so you don't really have to stare at it too long, so it's not.
Yeah.
But if you do like we do, then yeah, it doesn't look too good. I also love the sound effects in that because they clearly just dropped in like the sound of a lion or a jaguar.
Yeah, that was cat sounds.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the dog sounds become big cat sounds.
Yeah, they just take every like big animal noise they can and just kind of like layer it.
Yeah, like Godzilla, only it doesn't sound as cool as a Godzilla roar.
No,
Godzilla's
no.
all kind of different
It's
things
just straight
put
up
together
like-
to make that roar. But
Like in the MacGruber movie, that comedy MacGruber, where they every explosion has a panther roar in it, or just just for no reason, it's a boom, row, like in the middle of it. It's almost like that. It's like somewhere in there's a lion, there's a jaguar, a panther. That leads us straight to the demon boy. And I think this is one of the more controversial parts of this movie, right? It's
probably, yeah.
the boy. There's a helpless little boy who's what, 8 to 12 years old, give her
somewhere in there, yeah.
somewhere in that range. Who, I guess, at some point in all that, because you kind of chase him around for a while, but I don't think you actually ever see him become.
No, we were talking about it, and I said, well, maybe I got up to use the bathroom or go do something or whatever, and I came back and missed something. But no, I think it was that.
No, it's your usual
being
bit when
chased by
you
the
get
demon.
up to go get something to drink. That's usually when it happens.
That's right. I got a
you.
beer, yeah.
Yeah.
I get a good beer out the fridge. No, I'm pretty sure that he ran into that. Was it a closet or was it like a
He's
air
hiding,
duct thing or
like,
whatever it was?
Because they spend like 10 minutes of the movie just
Chasing him and stuff.
Yeah, but you never actually it's almost like, oh shit, something's gonna happen to this poor kid, and then you never see it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he just shows up as a damn demon.
Well, when he was in that closet or ventilation space or whatever it was when he was running from the one demon, remember the one demon like reached in there and the boy was kind of hiding in there and the demon didn't see him. Well, then the kid looks up and you see blood drip on his face, or his blood was dripping on his face, and he
So
looks
maybe
up,
there.
and that's it. Then they just leave the scene there because I'm guessing that's where he was supposed to have been snatched by the demon and turned into a demon. Only they didn't want you to know that. They wanted you to be surprised when he comes out and he's a demon or whatever. I'm guessing that's what they were doing with that one
and
scene.
yet again, the acid blood is wreaking havoc. So it could have easily just dripped on him, and then boom, there you go. Like it did the dog, really, right? Or the dog actually, I think, licked it or something.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's there, and he just decides to lick it. But
yeah.
So not only do you get a boy that turns into a demon, but a damn tiny demon pops out of the kid's chest. Like the kid just kind of freaks out and lands on the ground. Then it goes full like alien mode, like like a. But this is like
what?
This is a ghoulie or a critter or something. It's
Or a boglin or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely influenced by ghoulies, critters, and all that stuff at the time, right?
The only thing missing is like in Spaceballs where it jumps out. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Yeah, that's
It's got a top hat and tail or cane.
Now, listen, I just have to interject this one time. My cousin recently found out that him and his wife were pregnant,
Oh God.
and they sent me that ultrasound where the baby looks like it's got a little top hat on it. And I sent him that I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
here's what I think of that.
You're having the kid from Spaceballs.
Yeah.
I want my baby.
Yeah, I still haven't heard back.
Yeah.
That's been what, 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, you might have been dismissed from the family for that one.
So, ties severed.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that happened, like that, but like I would think that if there's any controversy to this movie, it's got to be that. Like you have a damn kid turn into a demon, try to kill somebody, and then fall to the floor, and then an alien pops out of his gut, out of his chest.
Very violently, much like the demon in the first movie popped out of the girl's back, right?
Yeah.
Or the guy's back. Was the guy's back?
Just because
Oh,
it's
the girl.
Two girls.
now apparently it was not a real kid they did this with, right? It was a short person. So, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, they're not portraying it as such. Like you're like, holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
a kid.
yeah.
Just,
You're still supposed to think it's a 8 to 10-year-old or whatever kid, right?
yeah. By the way, Tiana, you just she just slid right back
She morphed
in.
in.
So, yeah. You came in at the perfect time. You came in at the perfect time. There's a kid getting a critter bust out of his chest.
Oh, yeah. The goober.
Yeah. There's a critter in my shitter. No, that's a meme. That's a different meme.
And then the little critter is the tiny demon. He is impaled by an umbrella, which, you know, is still cool little practical effect, right? They kind of chase it around, then like the dude stabs it through the wall. So it's that's out. I think that's when it came in and like tried to, yeah, it was attacking the pregnant woman, right? Sally.
Yeah.
It was Sally. Yeah. No, not Sally. Sally's the one that started all this shit.
Oh, wait, Sally's the one that got,
Sally's
yeah.
the
I forget
Hannah.
the name of the pregnant woman.
Hannah.
Hannah, yeah.
Hannah's the one that's pregnant. That's who it's attacking. And then, you know, there's like a 5-minute like fight with this little thing, and then he impales it at the end. We mentioned it briefly earlier. The group of troublemakers, punks. I don't know what the hell you want to call them. They're in a car driving somewhere, but it leads to nothing.
Yeah. In the first movie, at least it led to them getting to the theater, right? The punks,
Yeah.
the group of punks.
And they eventually get into the theater, and then they're part of they are part of the, you know, chaos. This one, they just get into a car accident with
the kids' parents, right?
Yeah. And then we never see them again.
Yeah.
So like, it seems like there's an unresolved story there. Like,
yeah, maybe they're supposed to be a bigger part in the movie, and they just like cut it down for time or something.
Yeah, maybe they just cut their part out. Maybe they were just supposed to be part of the body count, and then they just, well, fuck it, we can't put it in, and then they just killed it. But it's kind of an odd outlier in this whole thing because it really has nothing to do with it at all, other than just to remind you of the very similar setup in the first movie. That's all it did for me. Hank. In the Garage Massacre.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that was Tony the Pimp in the first movie, Hank.
Yeah.
How he meets his end is he gets like crotch attacked. Like, I don't want to say full on, like, you know, penile destruction, but probably.
It's implied, right?
Yeah.
Implied penile destruction.
I mean, he gets crotch attacked by a demon, and then like he's screaming bloody murder, and then just kind of gets thrown down. So like Hank's out of the picture, right? But like that whole scene was pretty good. The Garage Massacre.
Oh yeah. That whole, we didn't even really mention it, but his role in this movie is in this gym where everybody's perpetually working out in this gym, the same people all the time.
Yeah, at all times of the night.
Yeah, at all times of the night. I mean, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then the lights go out, and everybody makes a run for it, and then they end up in the garage, right? A whole group of them are in the garage trying to get their way out of the garage or whatever.
Yeah, then more people show up, and then they're kind of holed up in the garage. So there's this whole parts of scenes where they got the cars, and they're putting them up against the door. They're preparing for battle, and then when the moment finally comes, they just suck. They just they just fall on their ass quick. Oh, by the way, I love that part where they're driving the cars and they're pushing cars up up against doors and kind of piling the cars. There's one where somebody drives a car straight into the wall, and, and then they get out, and then about 8 of them just kind of pick the car up and push it. So like, wouldn't you just drive the fucking thing into where you need it to be? Why are you picking it up? Like, I guess that's the Jim Meathead thing going. I don't know, but it just seemed unnecessary. 8 people just get out and yeah, let's get it over here, and they push the car over there. You could have drove it, whatever.
Was that the one where the girl tried to ram the door to get out first, and she just ran into the wall, or no? Or is that different? Or is that later?
I think this is when they're setting up, like they know the demons are coming, so they're just kind of setting shit up.
Okay, because I know there was one where when they're first trying to get out of the garage, she gets in the car and she goes, "Okay, I'm gonna ram it." And she rams what looks like it's supposed to be the door. I don't know if it's supposed to be the door, like the wall, whatever.
That's part of the thing about, I think, this whole thing, that the apartment that they're in is supposed to be like
supernaturally traps them in it, right? The way that the theater did in the first one.
But I think it's supposed to be, in a way, yes. But I think it's designed that way to keep the demons out. Because remember, I think they do live in a world here, in my mind, where this demons thing did happen. It was real. So this building is designed, because what they mentioned, it's got bulletproof glass in the windows, shit like that. So like, I think this building is purposefully designed to keep the demons out. But once they got in,
they're
they
already
can't get
in,
out.
so
They're fucked. You know,
then the people can't get out. Yeah,
yeah. They're rats in a corner, right, so to speak. But the garage massacre scene was pretty good. But one question I had about that whole thing, though, and all these cars in the garage. Why are so many people trying to hide in cars that have sunroofs? Now, I know it at first it looks cool. I mean, movie-wise, it looks cool because you got demons surrounding cars and coming through the roofs.
Yeah.
But almost everybody that gets taken out hiding in a car is hiding in one that's got a fucking open sunroof in it. Almost every time. I mean, which I know it's the 80s, so there's a lot of cars with moonroofs and sunroofs and shit, but like this is at ridiculous numbers in my mind. But at any rate, eventually Hannah gives birth. Just by the way, like she looks like the most pregnant woman ever. She does.
The only time that noticed that she might be pregnant is when she was in the aerobics workout thing, right? In the aerobics doing the whatever, and it's like a fake belly on her or whatever. Yeah. I guess not.
And you do. They make it abundantly clear she's pregnant and all that throughout the movie, and then she's having pains and stuff like that. So you know what's probably coming. But then when it comes, she has the baby. By the way, it looks like a 6-month, perfectly healthy baby that she has on the spot of this weird TV studio that's across the street. Right, when they got out of the building, but that all connects to the whole thing where the demon comes out of the TV or whatever, right? Because then Demon Sally, you know, the one that started this whole thing, she comes and attacks them. They kill, quote unquote, kill the demon Sally, and then they turn around because they're in a movie studio. There's monitors everywhere. They turn around, and even though the dead body of the demon is on the ground, the demon is running towards them on the TV monitors. So then, what's his face, George or whatever, right? He has to go around and smashes all the TVs to stop her. So I guess stop her from coming through again, like she did, like that demon did or whatever, right?
First time, yeah, right.
The first time, and then that's how it ends. Is him smashing.
Although I don't know why they had it be her. You know, again, that she's dying on the floor. They could have had maybe a different demon.
It could have been any demon, but you know, whatever. It was her. I guess that just adds to the weirdness of it, right? But that's basically how it ends. He smashes all the TVs, and then crisis averted, and then George and Hannah, with their baby, walk out into the sun that is rising. The day is over. The end. Right? Credits. Now, apparently, I saw somewhere the original ending, which they all apparently agreed was just a little too dire. So they decided to go with the happier ending here. Was the original ending was the baby was supposed to claw out of her stomach.
Yeah, it's supposed to already be a demon inside of her and rip out of the womb or whatever.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a demon.
I know. I wish they had at least filmed that and then gave you, then you could have the alternate ending now. But
I think Argento and Bava and all of them, they all kind of agreed on the spot. Like, that's a little, that's a bit.
It was too bleak.
Yeah. So
they already kind of had a bleak ending for the first one, really. I mean, a lot of people died. A lot of the good guys, so to speak, whatever, died, right, in that movie.
Pretty much everybody. Yeah, true. But even in this one,
there was a
died
couple people, I guess, on the Jeep, right, that drove away on the Jeep or whatever. after. But that main girl who became a demon at the end of the first movie, then they have to kind of like throw her off and she dies or kill her or whatever. and then so basically all the people that drive off are the people that weren't even in the movie, right, at the beginning.
Yeah. But because it's just like this ragtag group of survivors by the end of it that just kind of help each other, and then Well, there you
I
go.
guess they didn't want to go bleak twice. Now,
I
that's
guess
the
so.
Romero effect, right? Because Romero went bleak for Night of the Living Dead, and then he almost was going to kill them off in Dawn of the Dead, but decided he wanted to give them a happier ending in Dawn of the Dead.
It would have been interesting to see, but it probably a little unnecessary. So,
Yeah.
Either way. Well, there you go.
I think it like ripped out of her stomach and then went running off behind the curtain somewhere. No,
Yeah.
remember the first Demons movie,
Yeah.
the back
Poor crap.
behind the curtain. Yeah, this.
For damn time.
So yeah.
Except this was a little baby, as a little infant baby, demon baby.
All right. Well, Tiana, you gave us a rating of 3, right? So you've already, but you gave us the rating, so we'll let you say your piece. What are your final thoughts on this one?
I mean, this one isn't as good as the first one, but it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a great soundtrack.
Yeah, I was talking about that too early.
Yeah. I like it for what it is, but I like the first one. I like the metal stuff in the first one more, but yeah, it's still solid.
Yeah. So yeah, I give this one a 3.
Donnie, what do you say? What's your final thoughts and rating?
So I actually like this one. I think I like this one a little. I probably follow it a little better than the first one. But yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I would definitely watch this one again. It's got plenty of gore, great effects. I'm gonna echo Tiana. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Donnie, I was mistaken. According to my notes here, I thought you weren't on the show when we did the first one, but you were.
Oh.
You gave it 2 3/4, that first one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to change what you just said or not, but I'm just letting you know that's what you said for the first one was 2 3/4.
No. Yeah.
Smoke, you said 4 on the original one when we did it. You said 4 stars, and then I said 3.5. Will was the one. Surprise! He was the one that didn't like it as much. He said 2 1/4.
Oh, Will gave Demons 2 1/4.
Yep.
But that was much better than.
Oh yeah, well remember Suspiria.
Even though I was joking about the fact that he hated Suspiria because he did, and he liked this movie.
Yeah, he liked
but
this.
People
one
say 2.5. You call that liking a movie? Well, what was his rating for Suspiria? You said
that was 1.5.
Oh,
he did not like that at all. But yeah, so far we got a 3. I gotta say, like, I really like this movie. I didn't like it as much as the first one. To me, the first one is a little bit more entertaining because it's just like, it's one what the fuck after another.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I mean, it's pretty crazy too. It's got a lot of what the fuck moments, like the kid, the demon dog,
the ghoulie boglin.
Yeah, the
ghoulie boglin critter creature. Yeah.
The demon coming through the TV. Tried to do it twice. I mean, there's some crazy shit in this movie. It's just not quite as crazy as that first one. That first one is just like, I can't overstate it enough. It's just, what the fuck is going on here? Even the helicopter just randomly landing through the roof and shit like that. Just, what the shit? So I like that one better, but I really like this one. So I think 3 is actually a good place to land because I gave that one 3.5. So I think 3, just to, bring it home that I didn't like it quite as much, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it. So Smoke, we'll give you the last word. What do you say?
Yeah, I pretty much echo almost all y'all's sentiments about it too. It's not as good to me as the first movie, but it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the soundtrack, like Tiana was mentioning, as much as the metal is my go-to, metal and hard rock, like I could put that on no matter what mood I'm in, right? But I also very much love new wave, goth, 80s pop type stuff. So I mean, I very much love the soundtrack to this one too, as well as the score itself by Simon Boswell. I put all of those songs in various 80s playlists of mine on Spotify. I kind of liken this movie to another sequel that's somewhat similar in some aspects, and also has people who acted in the first movie that returned to the second movie in different roles, and that would be Return of the Living Dead 2. I don't know if everybody here has seen that one. I know you've seen it, Tiana, right? It's been a while. But...
No, and I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I own it. I don't think I've ever actually watched it. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't watched it before, though?
I don't.
You haven't seen it?
If I have, it's been a long time, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, I kind of liken it to this movie in that you see that first movie. Now, Donnie's a little bit different because he kind of likes the second one a little bit better than the first one in this case. I don't know if that'll be the case for Return of the Living Dead. Doubtful. Because the first Return of the Living Dead is such an iconic film that I don't know anybody that really likes the second one better than. and most people don't like the second one at all. But and when Demons 2 came out, a lot of people just didn't like it because they're comparing it too much, and it just came out right at as the other one was still pretty much leaving theaters. It seemed like they just back to back shot this one and put it out there real quick. So a lot of people were disappointed with the second one. Given when I first saw it, I was a little bit disappointed in it, comparing it to the first one. But I mean, as I watched it again, it's definitely growing on me the times I've watched it over the years. So I enjoy it again, like I enjoy Return of the Living Dead 2. It's not as good as the first one, but it's fun and still got a good soundtrack. I pretty much feel that same way about Return of the Living Dead versus Return of the Living Dead 2. So I'll echo everybody's 3. I think I'll give it a 3 as well.
Well, there you go. 3s across the board. So that is enough to say we definitely love it. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out. I mean, it may not be like the best thing you've ever seen or anything. And I think we all kind of agree we like the first one a little bit better at least. But 3 is solid number from us. So go check it out. We're not completely done here though. So Donnie, what kind of connections from the crypt could you find for this one?
Connections from the crypt.
Yeah, you guys pretty much have said just about everything there is. A little bit. So on the cast side, we've got Bobby Rhodes, who played Hank in this one, and then in the original Demons, he played Tony.
Yep, Tony the Pimp. And you always have to say the pimp because he's pretty obviously a fucking pimp.
So there's actually 4 cast members that are connected back to the first Demons movie. So there's Bobby Rose, like I said, Lamberto Bava, who played Sally's father in this one, and he was a guy in the subway in the first one.
Okay.
I think Smoke mentioned Lino Salemi.
Salami.
Yeah, Salami. He's the security guard here, and in the first one he played a punk. And there was also Ileana Miglio, who was a woman on a TV show in this one, and on the first one she was a woman in a tent.
So she's moving up in the world.
Listen, yeah, at least there's somebody.
Yeah.
So, and then on the crew side, I actually stopped. I kind of stopped counting producers because there's
there's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a lot of producers. But Dario Argento, producer for Suspiria. Had a producing credit for Suspiria, Demons, and Dawn of the Dead when we covered those in past Spookshow episodes. That's what we got.
Yeah, because those are a lot of connections. And there's a lot of this shit that just naturally connects to the first one because they made it. Yeah. They made these 2 movies so close together that I'm sure that probably played into some of those actors coming back too. It's only literally 7 months past the release of the first one. Here we go again. So I'm sure they just brought some of those people back because it just happened. They haven't moved on to other shit yet, so bring them back. Tiana, what kind of body count could you have? What kind of kill count?
It was high because you got to think it's almost the whole apartment place.
Yep.
And the birthday party in the beginning, all those people get wiped out. But
now wait a minute before you say the number, we were doing the kill count back when we did the first one. And back then, this was before you were on the show. Will was doing it. He came up with a number of unsure because. Remember the end of that movie?
Many.
Well, yeah, and remember that movie just ends with the apocalypse is upon us. So infinite, right? Who knows? But so that was the number on that one. So what kind of number could you actually find a number for this one? I guess is the question.
It was 20 to 30.
I'd err on the side of 30.
Yeah,
because you see quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'd say just about. Wouldn't you argue probably everybody in that building, other than the 2 that walked out of there and the baby?
Yeah, because you got to think the birthday party had quite a few people, and then the garage scene towards the end.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Honestly, I'd say that number is probably higher than that, really,
Yeah.
in the end. But yeah, 30, I think 30 is probably a good number to land on for now unless you see some other official number from an Argento encyclopedia somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is a tough one. The highlight kill. Let's talk about the kill reel.
Highlight. Kill.
God, I don't know. There's some good ones here. I guess I'll go with, and that tells you how much thought I put into this sometimes. I guess I'll go with the one that I'll probably remember more than anything will be the boy turning into a demon and then getting his, then a fucking ghoulie pops out of his chest. I think I'll go with that one. There's some good ones here though. I think I'll go with that. So yeah, there you go. That's a nice little plate setter for you, Smokes. What do you got for the gore score?
Gore score.
Yeah, I never saw the R-rated cut of this, and I'm gonna say, gore score being based on Chaz Balin's gore score, right? I double checked the Deep Red Horror Handbook just to see what he gave it, and he had mentioned in there that when it came out on video cassette, it was the R-rated version, I guess, and that was the only one available back then when he reviewed it. Maybe that probably hadn't come out with that work print that I was talking about from that bootleg video thing. So he gave it a 6. But that, like I said, that's probably the R-rated cut of it. So,
well, before you say what you're going to say, you did give a gore score for the first one, and you gave that an 8.
I gave it an 8. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, because if we were, the gore score is kind of a subjective thing, right?
Yeah.
But if I were comparing it to this, I would have put a little bit more towards the first movie. Maybe I would have gave it a 9 before I say what I'd give this one. So now I might just stick with what Chaz gave it. I don't know. I mean, or maybe I'll give it the 7 because I was thinking about giving it a 7, but I was thinking I gave the first one a little bit higher than an 8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like terribly crazy gory even in this unedited version, right? It's not crazy gory. It's probably not, and it's definitely not as gory maybe as some of the scenes in the first one. I mean, you had eye gouging. I mean, demon fingers in the eye, right? The back scene, even though the kid seems pretty gory. I mean, because it does kind of show his stomach blowing open with the demon thing coming out of it, that little demon ghoulie. So, and the fact that it's supposed to be a kid,
that's probably the goriest scene. I mean, there's plenty of other gore, but that's probably the goriest.
Yeah, that's probably the goriest. I'll probably, just to give it that difference between the two, and like I said, I probably should have rated the other one number up higher on the first one, but yeah, I guess I'll keep it with Chaz's rating on it and go with a 6 for the gore score on this one because it's in there. It's just not as much as the first one, right?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And, well, before we go on with that, in keeping with the gore score, and I don't know that we mentioned this. Maybe you mentioned it in the credits, but Sergio Stivoletti, did you? Yeah, maybe you mentioned him when we first talked about it, but
I didn't.
He was the main special effects guy on this movie, and he also, I believe, did the effects for the first one. And he's actually directed a movie that Lucio Fulci was supposed to direct, but Fulci had died before he could get to this point of directing, and it's Wax Mask. I believe that was Sergio Stivoletti's directorial debut. We watched that a few years back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like that one too, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one we have to get to maybe at some point because I want to revisit it because I only ever saw it when we watched it, which was a few years back. But that was Stivoletti's directorial debut, and like I said, he did the effects in this movie, and they're great in the effects in the first movie. So. Definitely worth watching for all the names connected to it, right?
No, for sure. If nothing else, all those names that we talked about. But that is cool. You talk about the effects or whatever. You get that very similar scene. Remember in the first Demons where they're all kind of like coming at them with the light shining behind them.
Oh yeah.
You see the glowing eyes, and you get a very similar, a couple times in this one, very similar shot. Mm-hmm. Of that, kind of the light from behind, the smoke,
the
glowing eyes, it's just a cool visual. But yeah, so there you go. I think it's a good way to start off 1986, if I do say so myself. But we're far from done. We're just getting started with this shit all month long, and this is going to cross over over on YouTube a little bit at least with Grindhouse Gutter and Video Vortex. You're going to have kind of a late era Grindhouse, right, and then Video Vortex lends itself very easily. I think we got a pretty cool title picked for that over there. But Donnie, you get the pick next week. So what movie from 1986 are we talking about?
Oh man, excited for this one. So Yeah, we're going to be talking about Aliens from 1986.
The long
James Cameron.
gestating sequel to what 79's Alien.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that it took them that long, but we'll get into
years.
that. Yeah, we'll get into that next week for some of those reasons and everything. But yeah, another 1986 classic. So there you go. Go check that out in the various ways that you can watch that, and come back with us next week as we continue our adventure through 40 years of 1986. So for Tiana, Professor Smoke, Donnie, I'm Josh. We are the All American Spook Show. Go check out aaspookshow.com. All the stuff that we mentioned just a minute ago over on our YouTube channel, including Hammer Horror and Order. You don't want to miss that series as well. And of course, new episodes of the podcast come out every Monday at 6 p.m. East, wherever you get your podcasts, or over on the YouTube channel. Become a patron of the Spook Show by going over to patreon.com/spookshow. Lots of bonus content. Get episodes early. Go check out our TeePublic shop. Lots going on in the Spook Show universe. So for everybody, we will talk to you next week.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.